right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly collective reading. It's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be looking at how to bring in abundance. And the totem that you all chose for me today to look at was the dragon. And I think this is a great way to kind of get things started. So welcome, everybody. If you're brand new to the collective, it is basically a weekly reading that I do each and every Sunday. It's going to help you navigate the next 7 days. We have a special topic that I just mentioned. We'll also go through the exact 7-day forecast plus an elemental breakdown and some other things too. So welcome, everybody. Great to see you. I always like to begin with those channeled messages from Dreams and Meditation. So why don't we get started in that first and foremost? And I also put a poll up. So let me know what you're trying to bring in with respect to abundance, since that is a special topic, and I'll try to fine tune it just a little bit with respect to that. All right, so let me get this set up here and we'll begin. Okay, so today, again, combination of dreams and meditation. The first thing that I saw in dreams was a kind of gardening metaphor, and it makes sense too, because part of creating abundance is intention. But the thing that came through just as loud as intention was also practicing gratitude. And so basically it was like a field of dreams and intentions, but I saw people planting seeds of thanks, and those grew first and created the sort of like the magnet that brought in all of the pollinators. So it was a nice metaphor for how we could approach the week ahead, which is, if you're willing to kind of take the challenge, start the day with two things. Something that you're grateful for, and it can even be the release of something, like, I'm glad that's done, I'm glad I got through it. It can also be a way to put a silver lining around something that has been challenging. That was difficult to see that this person had that kind of, whatever intention or whatever, and I see through that now, and I can now focus on other things. So it can be releasing something, it can be a realization that something wasn't what it seemed, and then you can put the intention forward, front and forward, and you can say, I want to focus today on creating this. It would also be good to kind of give thanks in a higher energy too, just sort of like, thanks for all the opportunity that I've been presented. I appreciate it, I'm present, I see it. Send some love, send some light out there, and then that also kind of blesses whatever it is that you want to bring forth. I've talked about this before, but when I work with Archangel Uriel, it always says, say thank you first, because it opens your heart. When your heart is open, you're able to receive love, abundance, and opportunity, all in the highest forms, and basically the universe can work with you a little bit better, okay? So that's message number one. Thanks and intention is going to be a really powerful way to bring about this abundance that you guys seek. And that's why I put the Ace of Pentacles here. The next one, and this is not as easy, especially if you are type A personality, or you just like to have a busy schedule, or you like to see progress, but it's to create space. For gardeners, for farmers, for people that work with plants, you know that this is important. You have to sometimes let certain plots of land rest and sort of allow the nutrients to be replenished. You can't plant the same things in the same areas all the time without returning some sort of putting fertilizer or putting some new nutrients in the land. You also need to have space between things so that they can grow. So you need space, you need time, you need patience. You also need rest. The very last bullet, reflect, review, relax, recalibrate. That is what space creates in our life. And we are so used to having every minute filled up, more so than the previous century. And this is due in a large part to the immediacy of the internet. So it probably started, the internet came about in the 80s, but in the 90s is when it really took off, like late 90s. But prior to that, you didn't immediately know what someone was doing. You couldn't immediately get in touch with someone. And sometimes you just had to wait. And in that time, you got to think about other things and do other things. I'm encouraging you this week also to create some space in your schedule and your day where you're not immediately connecting and checking on everything, because it will help you with the law of detachment, which ironically helps you bring in things faster when you're not focusing on them 24/7. So resting, meditating, walking, going outside. And yes, we call it doing nothing, but it really is allowing our mind and our heart and our energy to open and relax. So it may be easier for some of you than others, but if you're one of the folks out there that's challenged, try to find a way. You can kind of incorporate it with your exercise or something like that. But like take a walk and just think at the very least it's good cardiovascular, but it's also really good for your mind. Okay. By the way, this is not the same thing as being lazy or not doing something. It's allowing yourself time to absorb and to receive. The dragon symbol, since you brought it forth. The main thing that I wanted to talk about, and then I thought about something else on the walk with Apollo, was fire, passion. That's why we have the Ace of Pentacles, I'm sorry, the Ace of Wands here to complement the Ace of Pentacles from earlier. I remember back when I used to have a 9-to-5 job, it was not my passion. I was doing things outside of work, writing, learning about metaphysics, hanging out with my friends. Work was a means to an end. It wasn't my passion. My only regret for myself is maybe that 10 years earlier that I didn't just pursue the passion full on. But everything in its own time, right? And I'm very passionate about what I do now. And so you can make up for lost time. But wherever passion is lacking in your life, create some this month, and this week rather. Really focus on doing something. And it is that carrot on a string. Each and every day, treat yourself by reading a book, talking to a friend, seeing a movie, taking a walk, whatever it is, or learning something new, a hobby. This was a hobby for me back when I had a day job. It was an escape from that sort of thing that wasn't a lot of fun for me. So you never know where that passion can bring you, you know, a few years from now, right? So that's my encouragement here. Dragons also can move between all the elements. I was thinking about that. They typically live in a cave, earth. Some of them, there's water serpents, they can be in the water. Air, they fly in the air. Fire, that's what they breathe. So it's also kind of the energy of the magician, and it's about harnessing those elements and seeing yourself as being powerful. Okay, so those are the channeled messages. Let's move into the 7-day forecast. This is going to break it down into everyday stuff that we can focus on. Let me choose a deck. While I'm doing that really quickly, if you enjoy what you see here, do me a favor. It's 100% free and it does help. Please think about subscribing. You can also give me a follow on social media. All right, let me turn the camera down and select a deck for us for today. I think I want to choose the Sun and Moon deck here. Since we have a waxing gibbous, that was one of the choices, but we'll at least have it here in the form of this deck. All right, close your eyes, focus on the week ahead. Let's see what's coming through. Just turn down the intensity on that. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Interesting how much water is coming through here this week. So it's an emotional week. Lots and lots of water. Okay, let's begin first with the energy of today. This Sunday, we have the 7 of Cups. The universe is asking you today, what is it that you want? This is a kind of unusual 7 of Cups, but I'll take it. The traditional one, and I'll pull it here just for comparison, is typically about exploring options in front of you. And the word debauchery usually is about going overboard. And sometimes we can indulge in a lack of sort of like limits. So sometimes we overthink, sometimes we overindulge. And so one of the things that I would say here is try to have some limits on things and, you know, don't get lost in that sort of energy. We can lose track of time too. Here's your traditional one. 7 of Cups is usually about saying or asking yourself, saying to yourself, what is it I'm looking for? What is out there? What other options are there? You may also be wondering, am I doing the best thing? It's about exploring, basically. You could be kind of caught up in the moment. This one has a slightly different connotation. Someone else could get you wrapped up in their own thoughts. So we have kind of a combination of the two here. So don't get lost in the thoughts. Don't get lost in someone else's. Also, don't let them project in questions or doubt. Because sometimes it's well-intentioned, but someone can throw you off your game. You're ready to begin something and they're like, oh, you're going to do that? In a weird tone, like questioning almost. Oh, really? Are you sure about that? And sometimes it's in a sporting event or something, that would be someone making you think you're not prepared. So basically, my message for you today is don't overcomplicate, focus on what matters. And if someone tries that mind game, just say, yeah, I'm ready. Why? Are you ready? Like just throw the question back at them, okay? Basically, a better kind of, and I use this often, but it's kind of like all of these thoughts going through your head, calm them a little bit. Focus on the one thing that's going to help you. And remember, at the end of the day, you can end up going into a rabbit hole if you explore too much. Less is more, okay? Let's look at the energy of the beginning of the week, Monday, Earth Day. We have the 10 of Cups. It's a really good time to spend time with others. So if you wanted to go out on a date, do a social endeavor, go on a vacation, spend time with family, 10 of Cups is really, really good. So a lot to love with this. It's all about connecting with others. You can use that in work and professional spheres, just basically as a chance for outreach. And it's great if you're a business and you're trying to get customers to come into your place of business. The 10 of Cups just shows a lot of receptive energy. Good day for launching something as well. And again, if you are thinking of having a date or going out on a date or spending time with family, people energy is really what this card is focusing on. Family especially. So you may, for those of you that are feeling a little bit more intense energy this week, sensitivity, the one thing you want to be mindful of is the family as well. And for some of you, it just may feel like there's a lot going on, right? So I think that during this period of time, you just really want to focus on having good boundaries, good limits, and that's going to help you out. But there's a lot to love with the 10 of Cups, so I have to stretch to find an issue, and that could just be that there's too many people, too much social activity, etc. What we see you doing on Tuesday, ideally, is we talked about creating space. This is the day to create the space, to step away from something. This is not a permanent full stop. Usually, like I would look at the 8 of Cups as a comma or semicolon in grammar, but it's basically a necessary pause that's going to bring you back and give you perspective, and then you can come back to that with the new insight. So it's a good day to take a day off. It's a great day to change it up and work on something different. So if you've been focusing all your energy on one task, move on to something else, or one person, you can move on to something else. You may also just simply feel like you had your fill, because the 10 of Cups is just that. It's like, okay, that's more than enough. And we actually see like satiety at the top, or satiation. So it's like more than enough. So take a break, get perspective, figure it out. And if you have a major decision to do, or to make, I should say, I would say don't necessarily make it all at once, right? Or like make it at the same time. Like give yourself a night, sleep on it. And you'll be better armed to make that decision the next day, okay? So Tuesday is about clarity, about creating space, taking a break, stepping away from something, coming back to it. You could also be deciding to return to an old unfinished task. We're still in the end of retrograde here, so something that you want to wrap up, it's a perfect day to figure out how to wrap that up, okay? And ultimately, I kind of like the 8 of Cups. It's if you want to do a physical activity, hiking, or anything out in nature, it's a really good day to kind of get out there. Typically, we see someone on a hike, on a mountain, with that space to return. Okay, so good day overall. A little bit more introspective, a little bit more independent. And as somebody mentioned, we have 2 8s in a row here. So the 8 of Swords is interesting because what we really want to be focusing on with that is not kind of painting ourselves into a corner. This one's a little different than the typical illustration. We see someone else pulling the strings. The 8 of Swords can be an eye-opening moment, even if it is upright, because you're being asked to look beyond the current situation, or maybe to the root of it if there's been a challenge. I'm going to pull the traditional one. It's one of the 2 blindfolded cards. And 2 of Swords is always about introspection. I usually look at the 8 of Swords as seeing something for what it truly is, or seeing someone for what they truly are. And sometimes we don't want to see it. We want to keep the blinders on, right? And so today is a day where you're being asked to see the source and see something as it truly is. Go deeper, dig deeper, ask the tough questions. So if you are you know, in a meeting with someone or at an interview, or basically maybe you're looking at some sort of a document and you want to be very mindful of the fine print. You can scrutinize it and you can say, what does this mean? Or what did you mean by that? Something that I even talked about in a recent daily card reading. There's no harm in asking a question and getting clarity. You don't want to move forward until you're clear. And you want to make sure that if there are strings, you cut those strings, no strings attached. So discernment, curiosity, inquisitive energy, and not taking something at surface value. All of these things are going to help you in the midweek. Proceed with caution, but it's nothing to worry about too much. It's just saying, don't move until you know what you're looking at. All right. As we take a look here at Thursday, looking pretty good. We're back into the sort of social energy that kicked off the week. So let's look at Thursday here. We have the Knight or the Prince of Cups here. Beautiful dolphin in this card. So intelligence, playful energy. This is a really good day to move forward with something that you believe in. It could be love. You could move forward and ask someone out. You could connect with someone that you love, but this could also be a passion project or something in your life that you care about. This is the day to get other people kind of reined into this. And that we can even see that energy here because it's almost like a horse here. He's pulling the reins on that. And knights need to have that sense of clarity, direction, control. All of that is going to help you out. There could be someone coming into your life with an offer that makes your heart happy. So this could be good news. It's another way of saying good news. And it could be an invitation in love, in work, any kind of thing that kind of makes your heart skip a beat. So also a really good day for meetings, whether it's social, love, or work. It really doesn't matter. There's really just a great connective energy going through the day Thursday. All right, let's look at the end of the week. More things to love. So just before I kind of get into that, we have family, connections, larger groups of people on Monday. On Thursday, we have one-on-one energy, and it's continuing to develop here. There's a little bit of reciprocity as we're looking at the energy of Friday. So the Two of Cups, this is more specifically about the core relationships in your life. Best friends, love interests, your partner, maybe even a sibling that you care about, whoever it is that you have this unconditional love for, that might take the primary focus on Friday. This is also a great day to work one-on-one with someone with a shared passion or interest. So, I mentioned that on Tuesday, it was about independent work. This is the reverse of that. The power of two is coming through. Two minds, two hearts, two thoughts are better than one. And someone can really help you take it to the next level. It's kind of like an artist and a producer, or a writer and an editor. They complement each other's skill set. They help each other fine-tune it. And that's really what this day is about. But partnership across the board, however you want to express it or connect with it. And it's a good day to be among other people, just like Monday. These are two different ends of the spectrum, larger group, smaller group, but we still see people and relationships are playing such a major part of this week ahead. If you're feeling stuck, if you want to see something move, the magic this week is teamwork and working with others. Now let's take a look at the weekend, next weekend. As we look at next Saturday, we have a chance for you to revise and edit. An Ace of Swords in reverse is very much like a pen or pencil, circling things, changing things, editing things. It's direct, and direct can be either a yes or a no. I would normally read this as a no if I was asking a yes or no. So if you need to communicate boundaries or a no to someone, this is a great day to speak up. It's best not to mince words or to use too many. So less but more direct and better as a result. Because if you say too much, people get lost. And that's pretty much everything on that. It is a day that's saying action is due or overdue. So if you are finding that you're procrastinating a bit, please wrap it up by Saturday. That's the day to make sure that everything on your list has been done. That way you can enjoy and you're resetting for the week ahead. And then as we look at a week from today, next Sunday, we have the Two of Wands, which is the envisioning card, and it is in the reverse state. So some of you might be nostalgic, looking at the past. Some of you may be looking at what it is that you haven't yet done and thinking, how can I bring this into action? And some of you are thinking, I don't know what to do next. It's okay. It's just a day to open your mind. If you're feeling stuck or indecisive, oftentimes talking to others can help. Often research can aid in that. And sometimes simply letting it go and putting your energy behind another task. Just like I was walking the dog and thinking about other things, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll talk about that too. It's a great way to allow yourself to get the clarity. It doesn't always happen when you want it to happen. Creative energy for any artist out there of any sort, music, I would say even someone that's like an architect or whatever, when you're trying to design or develop something, your best ideas happen sometimes when you're listening to music, taking a shower, walking the dog, cooking. It's when you shouldn't, or even driving. It's like, how am I going to record this now because I'm in the middle of a task? Move your mind to something else and you may be surprised. But do take some time to plan. I talked about that today, actually. That was a great energy for today. So all of those skills when I did my one card reading that I read yesterday. If you're feeling stuck, that's how you can get unstuck. So we can add that to the mix. Let's look at some highlights and challenges for the week ahead, and then we'll move on to the elemental forecast. All right. So here's what I see. There's a lot of highlights this week, actually. I think Monday, Thursday, and Friday are amazing. So much cooperative, collaborative, and passionate energy coming through with those three cards. The challenges this week, today, your mind might be in 15 different places, so focusing could be challenging. The midweek, you may not have everything that you need to make a decision. You can pull that Eight of Cups to buy you some time too and say, give me a day or two. Let's circle back on Thursday or Friday because we can see better energy that day. So I think Tuesday and Wednesdays are they're basically a day to kind of pull back a little bit and allow yourself to get the clarity that you need. The rest of the week is very manageable. So we're going to now move on to an elemental forecast, which this is the only part of today's sort of special weekly forecast that is going to be specific to signs, or in this case, elements. So let me select a deck here and then we'll get started. And let's see what's calling to me. All right. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay. All the cards kind of volunteered themselves at once today. Fire, here we go. Interesting week for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If we're going to get the devil, I'll take the devil reverse because it typically represents clarification of something that doesn't serve your highest interest. You see through the facade, you see through the mask. It's a question now of what to do, because sometimes we find ourselves in this situation and it's like, okay, now what? I like that we see a metamorphosis sort of moment here. And one of the things that it's saying is watch things unfold now. So maybe you need a little bit more information or you need a couple of moments more to figure out how to cut the cord, but ultimately that's what the devil energy is encouraging you to do, is to release something. So figure out what you're going to do potentially about something that doesn't serve you. Now, if you feel like I'm in a good space, this can just be a limiting thought. So if you're trying to manifest, since that was the main topic that you all chose for me, this is saying, don't put a cap, limit, or timeline on how something should happen. You can say, I'm ready to receive love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest form, and I'm ready to receive it now. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, next week, or whatever. You could receive it now, and whatever comes through, even if it's better than what you thought, especially if it's better than what you thought, don't second guess yourself. Don't limit yourself. Also exercise energies like, or I should say attributes like honesty, integrity, and transparency. What do I mean by that? Tell people how you feel. If you're interested, say yes. If you're not, say no. If someone is not acting with integrity, call it out. Say, this is not what we discussed. What's going on? Or was I not clear? get to the bottom of things. And that will cut through this. And devil energy doesn't like people that work with integrity, honesty, and transparency. Transparency is just being super clear, so you can see to the core of something. So if you have those qualities this week and others don't, they're going to show their true colors quickly. You can decide not that, this. And ultimately, one last thing is, if you, like, it is basically just about the integrity piece. If you can't or won't or don't want to do it, don't say you can. It's a little bit of like the Seven of Swords, which is an agent of the devil. So just keep your promises, right? That's the other thing. All right. All of those things they're good reminders for all of us. And if you do that, you should be fine. And ultimately, I do think it's just about cutting cords and letting go. It takes a little bit of time to get through that. So take it one step at a time. What I do like, though, is when the devil reverse card exits, it opens us up basically for the lovers, because that's the higher version of the devil. The cards look the same. They just have, instead of an angel, there's a devil, and you have the two lovers, but they're chained in one. So you're opening yourself up for better opportunities. You're worth more. That's the message on that card. You're worth more than something that might be coming through. All right, so from fire now, let's move to earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We have the moon coming through, the moon in reverse. There's a very similar but gentler energy with this. So in the moon card, we're often shown an illusion, or we see through the illusion here with the moon in reverse. We may see a fear or anxiety bubbling up. And in this card reversed, it might be starting to dissipate. We're no longer afraid of something. It's a power card. It's about basically creating something, and just like Artemis, pulling things into your life. So never underestimate your power. When fear comes through, lean into education and getting to the facts, getting to the bottom of something. And things to avoid in the moon card: competition, because typically we would see like a wolf and a dog, or a coyote and a dog at the front, and they're representing that your path exists somewhere between conditioning and training, the dog, and instinct, the wild animal. And the path is about kind of blending the two, knowing how to navigate between the two, not getting involved in other people's drama, keeping your eye on the prize, focusing on the light in front of you, and being reflecting, like using the energy of reflection or meditation this week. All of those things will help you, okay? And you may feel a little bit of extra energy around the next full moon cycle, okay? But otherwise, it is a card of deep intuition. That is second maybe to the High Priestess, but they're both cards of intuition. It's more instinctive on the moon card. So you just feel it. You may not understand why. Trust your feelings this week, okay? Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you've got this. Let's move on to air signs: Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You're going to get a lot done this week. We have a card here: hands-on work. Roll up your sleeves. Eight of Pentacles is such a good card for a return on the energetic investment. Whatever you put your energy into, you should see a return on it. It's a great time to learn something new, expand your skills, thoughts, or energy in any way. This is also a good card for editing, revising, and finishing something. And again, we can just see this person really in the throes of a task at hand, building something that matters. So this is also very good for recording or writing something. So if there's something that needs to be put together in a presentation or a written form, I feel like you can do this. Also, email correspondence. It just feels like people are starting to see your worth and your value because of that hard work. So work ethic, make sure that you keep up with that. All three signs, air is pretty good at being able to pull it all together and see it from all perspectives. And that's really where your value is this week, okay? This could also be a distribution of something like curriculum, and again, when I say curriculum, you don't have to be a teacher anymore. This can just be putting something on the internet in the form of a podcast or downloadable series of something that you're like, but you could be training people, all of that stuff. You could be seeking mentorship, but it's just a great week for that kind of exchange of information. Good luck, air. Keep me posted. Moving on to water: Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You are overcoming a challenge in your life. This is a week for healing, and it's a chance to really focus on doing something that makes your heart happy. You always have that right and that opportunity to focus on yourself, but especially so this week. If we're going to get the Three of Swords, I'd rather get it in the reverse state as well, just like the Devil. It's about saying, I'm ready for something better. I deserve more. I think that's a common theme this week when we're kind of looking at some of the trickier cards, is sometimes you have to go through a recalibrating moment in love, in work, in relationships. Someone disappoints you, something didn't happen, and you think to yourself, I deserve to be happier than this. This situation is not the end all be all. It isn't fun, and I'm not going to brush it under the rug, but I'm also not going to give it any more energy than I need to. So what are you going to focus on this week? What are you going to do? We can go back to the channeled messages when it comes to giving yourself a treat every day, something to really say, I got through this. So gratitude, and also, giving yourself some love this week is going to be important. You're not alone. I mean, that's one of the things that we saw with the love cards that came through: the 10 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the 2 of Cups, Monday, Thursday, Friday. Those days in particular, you can lean on the support of others and then maybe taking a break. Okay? So that is the elemental breakdown. Remember, if you ever need more fine-tuned energy, you can always look at the monthly readings for that. We're going to ease into the special topic next, which is the dragon. And like I said, what I like about dragons is they represent power, they represent movement, and I think that this week it's a chance for you to move beyond any sort of limit that might have existed in your life. So let me see here. I think I know which deck I want to use for this. And again, this portion is for everyone that's present, just like the channeled messages. And yes, it can be applied to the next 7 days. It could also be a little bit beyond that. That's cool. All right, so we've got some synchronicities there with the Devil coming through. Let's see what else came through that might be similar. I think it's mostly just that. So I will help those of you that were kind of dealing with that Devil energy. Okay, let me finish the expanded forecast here and then we'll begin. Got some powerful cards coming through here in this forecast. And yeah, someone said these are very dragon-oriented cards. Both the color, but also kind of some of what's coming through. So let's begin with this. And you heard me kind of laugh a bit because nobody likes the waiting game. So what I do love about this particular illustration, we kind of see the tree of life, which would be connected to the 10 of Pentacles. And it's important not to rush. I think this card is more connected to the 2, but it's with the promise of the 10. Because the 2 is about achieving balance, and we have a 2 on this one. And so one of the things you want to do is make sure that you're not rushing something before that foundation has been built. So I think a big part of the week ahead for many of you is firming the foundation. What do I mean by that? Making sure that there is enough resources, energy, that you've done all of the work and the preparation necessary to create, to establish something. And again, I know easier said than done. Sometimes we just want this, why can't I have it right here, right now? Something prefabricated. This card, however, reminds you of the importance of creating something that's built to last. So when we think of even homes now, there's a lot of, if you look at old architecture from like Rome, for instance, and there's still the sort of, and Greece for that matter too, all the ruins that still exist from the antiquity. that was built with a different, and the also the pyramids in Giza. All of those things are just amazing because we have prefabricated houses now that barely make it to 100 years. And then we have things that have lasted like centuries. So let's think about something that's built to last so that you don't have to do it again. I think that's the main message here. Now, the waiting game is a double-edged sword. I think that when you finally do know something, this is particularly like when you've made a decision, don't leave others waiting. Once upon a time when I was trying to find an agent for a book, like 10 years ago, I remember the process, the grueling process of trying to find one. And one of the assistants to the agent said something like, well, now it's just a waiting game. And I knew that they meant no. It's like, just tell me no. It's okay. You don't have to keep me hanging. And so it's better to say yes or no and be sort of like sensitive to other people's times and needs. So that's one thing. If you need to say no, say it. Okay. Let's go ahead now and take a look here at your centermost card. We have the King of Swords, which is direct and sort of clear, just like I was talking about. So King of Swords in reverse. Say yes, say no, take action. This can also be about fixing something in the past, deciding this is the moment to go back and clarify or fix something like that. This is an interesting Ten of Swords. There's a very similar I'm not Ten of Swords, King of Swords. That reminds me of the Ten of Swords in the Divine, Tarot of the Divine. I'm using Tarot de St. Croix right now, but we can see in this card someone reaching out, and this person is taking the sword. So what I actually see is, I'll leave it up here for a second. Someone may be trying to close off your communication, steal the spotlight, or put words in your mouth, because I see that grabbing action there on the sword, and normally the king is in control. The card was reversed, so he's reclaiming that and saying, wait a second, I didn't finish. And that's not how we discussed it. No, actually, let's review it here. So reclaim your ground quickly. Don't let someone take advantage of that moment or take you by surprise. I'm getting a lot better at that the older I get. When I was younger, maybe it was a little harder. There are still moments, though, where that happens. You, for instance, could be signing a contract and you're pressured by like a realtor or a lawyer. Just sign it. We're fine. Come on, we're waiting for you. Just say, actually, now I want to wait even more. Why are you rushing me through this? Let me look at this. So if someone pressures you, take a moment and make sure you're looking at it. We're still in a retrograde. It's almost done, but be cognizant of that. And the other place that we sometimes lose our voice is in the presence of an authority figure. It could be a parent, it can be a doctor. I've had that happen before where it's like, why didn't I say something? It's because trust and power dynamics are at play. So no means no, remind them, or I don't understand. You can't move forward until I understand. So take back your power and get the clarity you need. You are the King of Swords and you have that right to reclaim it, okay? So some of you, this week, it's about using your voice. The most powerful thing you could do is just say, I'm not ready. Wait a second. I don't understand. No, there are a number of ways you can do it. Lean into it. Watch this as the week progresses. It'll become clearer. Things should resonate as the week. This is meant to come back. I will put, maybe not immediately because I have a lunch break later, but I will always put in the time code. So by the end of today, they'll be up there. So you can always come back midweek and look at this. All right. What's crossing this? Knight of Cups. Passion. This is an interesting knight here. I like this deck because it's unusual, right? So this one we see the water flowing towards the knight, and it's coming from spirit, it's flowing in, and then it actually, we see all the little hearts on his cape, and he's in the flow. So this is a week to open yourself up to receive and be in the flow of energy. Don't fight the flow if it's taking you in a good direction. And if you're not receiving it in anything like a project, a relationship, an endeavor, trying to find a job, for instance, if you're not hearing back, if there's crickets, that is communication as well. The universe is saying, follow the flow of energy, follow the flow of passion. And that is where you're going to start to really allow for things to come through. Let the movement come to you. This knight is a little bit more passive. He's not on a horse. He's kneeling on a checkerboard and he's letting the energy come to him. So it is something that comes with age and wisdom. You pay attention. Oh, okay, yeah, let's bring it on in. I'm ready. And you can also use that phrase, that mantra, I'm ready. Bring it on, universe. Let's bring on the love, abundance, and opportunity in the highest form. And if it also, it's saying, let's take time now to enjoy this situation. So if you've achieved something, or if you've met someone, or if you just feel really good, again, I don't know why I'm clapping. If you feel really good, because it emphasizes, then just be present. And I think it was because I wanted to do this, and just say thank you and really receive. Open up the heart space. Okay? There could be someone coming into your life this week as well. This is positive news. Typically, Knight of Cups, I read it as good news incoming. And it could be a chance to really connect with someone else. And the speed with which it happens is great. We also have mercurial energy here. Many of you are just very happy that retrograde is almost over. So good news, probably on the heels of the retrograde ending. And then things are going to start to go in a better sort of trajectory for all of you. All right. Deep past, 3 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So in the reverse state here, we have a chance to go back and to review something and possibly even perfect something. So 3 of Pentacles in reverse is a revisionary card. So you might be going back and saying, you know what, I thought I was going to do this, this, and this, but now I have new information. You're applying your learnings, you're applying that research, you're going to redirect, you're going to basically make something happen in that respect. This can also be a chance for you to go back to school, to go back to anything karmically or energetically that you haven't finished, and finish it, and this time really knock it out of the park. If you were rejected, if you failed, if you didn't do what you wanted to do, you're getting a second chance this week. Try it again, and try it with a clean slate with no feelings of failure, rejection, or frustration. And know that you're different this time. So I talked about the whole agent thing. Like this time around, it's been a decade, and I'm a better writer. I have a lot more experience in business and in life and everything. I just would approach it all differently, and I would write a different book. So my experience this time, I would expect to be easier and clearer and less stressful. And so same thing, if you tried to buy a house before, tried to get a job before, whatever it was you tried before, you've had more life experience now, so it will be different and it will be better. And that's really what Spirit's bringing through. You're in a different space now, so embrace that. Queen of Pentacles, that's what I just said. Basically, you have what it takes here. Look at how this queen is really enjoying the moment. Wouldn't it be nice to have people carrying us on a cabana with all the food on the side and all this energy? Both the Queen and the King of Pentacles are 2 of the most luxurious sort of court cards. Typically, there's lush greenery around them or a lot of abundance. So one thing, as we're looking at calling in abundance, she's perfect for that. Really imagine a rich, and I'm not talking about money, but sure, but like a rich experience in the future, more than you expected. All of this or greater, the most powerful tag that you can put on your manifestation, prayer, or intention. I'm ready for all of this or greater. That means that you're not capping it. That's the devil energy that we're going to overcome. You are open to receiving more, okay? And this is a nurturing and developmental card. She's willing to roll up her sleeves and do the work on this. She knows it's going to come back tenfold or more than that. Again, I'll even exercise it. Let's not even put a number. That there's going to be a lot of return on whatever it is that she puts her energy into. Nurturing, birthing, creating, all of that sort of energy is connected to this. Fruitful, abundant. You've got that energy if you want to. What is the Queen of Pentacles connected to? Money, family, the home, and personal development. So those are areas of focus for you, ostensibly this week. 3 of Wands. Wish it and see it. Your dreams are happening. Your ships are coming in. And in this one, that ship is really close. Typically, we have a guy way up on the cliff, little tiny ships coming in, and I'm always wondering, why isn't he at the pier? Well, she's at the pier. She's where she should be. She's met opportunity halfway. She's showing interest. She's also looking in all directions. This is the important thing with the Three of Wands. It represents the moment of a synchronicity or a moment of manifestation, but it also, this is what lucky is. Lucky basically means that you recognize synchronicity and you go for it. You don't get in your headspace. You're not in that energy of the Seven of Cups. You know, when is it going to happen? What's going on? Am I ready? Blah, blah, blah. You are 100% there. And instead of that, you're like, heck yeah, here it is. Let's do it. Celebration. So that's really where you want to be, is I'm ready to receive, not the math meme. So there you go. Three of Wands, also a travel card. So if you need to take a meeting, you know, like get on a plane, train, or automobile, or a Zoom call to connect with someone, make time in your schedule for that to happen, okay? Let me see what else. Something's just finally, you could also be, it feels like two things could be happening at once, because that ship reminds me also of the Six of Swords. So you may not get a lot of lead time or a lot of relaxation time between two things. One thing's ending, something else is starting. You graduate, you get a job. You end a job, you start a job. You get a job, you get married. I don't know. There's like a couple of things that are happening at once. And it's about taking a deep breath and just saying, I've got this. When it rains, it pours. But, you know, it can be good stuff too. All right. So now we're looking at the first significant challenge for you. Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles, as we can see, as illustrated here, can sometimes be you feel like you're on the outside looking in. You're out in the cold. That's what this is. Typically, we would see two people on this card. I'll pull it up just because it helps to compare and contrast. I like to think of it as two wounded hearts. They're trying to help each other, but they may be dealing with their own issues, and it's difficult. So one thing here is, if there's a friend that falls out of the picture, maybe it's because they just can't handle it right now. It's not about you, it's about them. It's like that old thing, it's not you, or it's not me, it's you. And that's really what it is in this situation. It's the other person. This is also, though, with respect to you, it has to do with an old fear, sort of like scar on the soul or heart, or insecurity, oftentimes from youth, but it could just be the recent past where your ego was hurt or bruised a little bit. And so it's saying you're okay. It's okay to feel that sense of insecurity, but it's not really founded, as I can see in these cards, in the moment. It's a past energy. So talk it out, work with someone. And in this case, I love that we have this beautiful Mother Mary, basically this nurturing energy coming through. And we could connect it more recently here to the Queen of Pentacles. You can do this for yourself. As we grow up, especially as we become middle to later aged, oftentimes our parents aren't there. You have to become the universal parental force for yourself. So if you didn't get it with your friends, your family, or whoever's around you, you're going to find that you're the rock. You're the solid ground. That's also connected to Pentacles, their earth. So you are the rock in your own life. There's that Simon and Garfunkel song, I'm a rock, I'm an island, or whatever. You're all of that. So just lean into your own capacity. Obviously with this card, some health connotations. You want to take care of foot, ankle, and even just circulation in the leg. And be mindful of walking. Sometimes if you're wearing high heels, if you're looking at your phone, if your dog pulls you in the wrong direction and you lose your footing, it can be a twisted ankle or something like that. It's usually avoidable in this card. It can sometimes also be a past injury that flares up, inflammation, swelling, or circulation issues. Standard disclaimer applies. I'm not a doctor. If you're going through any of that, seek out that assistance. Okay, how are you showing up? You're at a crossroads, but a really, really good crossroads. And this connects with all of the relationship energy from this week. So we have the Four of Wands. This is the holding space stuff that I was talking about. Look at this. It's not just a fork in the road, it's a crossroads. So we have some things that have come to pass here. We have that moon energy that I talked about earlier, which is overcoming your fears and anxiety. And then we have someone writing without any clothes, which is just saying there's nothing to lose. You're being your authentic self, and you're moving forward clear, clean slated, and ready to really face all of the opportunities here in this fork in the road. So the Four of Wands is a relationship card, but it's also pulling things in. And the universe is saying, what are you looking for in the next core partnership or opportunity? It has the foundational energy that I'd want to see. And anything that you're building, whether it's a house or love, a relationship, I want to see Four of Wands. That is the firmest of foundations. So you're coming through for others with that energy of being what they're looking for, but you also have to figure out what you're looking for, and you should seek out the similar energy in others. I would say this week, don't spin your wheels with people that lack organization, that lack investment in you, like they're not invested in whatever it is that you're doing. You owe it to yourself to find someone that's just as sort of foundationally stable as you are. You may not see who or what you're looking for right now. This card shows there's a little bit more to go or to come, but that's what the patience and the holding space is all about, okay? In the environment, here's your pollination card that I kind of talked about with the dreams. So we have Eight of Wands in reverse. There's a lot going on for many of you. If we look really closely, though, we have a bunch of bees, busy bees. So you may find, and a hummingbird. The only thing missing is a butterfly on this one because I saw all of those in dreams. So you may feel a little lost in the shuffle. You may also not be taking the necessary time for yourself, to nurture yourself, to do things that matter for you. You're putting your time and energy on everyone and everything else. Take care of yourself, feed your dreams as well, and make sure you ask for help. This is a community card. All these little pollinators, all the bees, and I bet you there's almost 8 of them if I count them, but all of the different insects and birds on this card represent teamwork. So you're not in this alone. Sometimes there's the illusion of that in the Eight of Wands because everyone's in their own headspace. Like nowadays in offices, have their headphones on, they're on a meeting, you're all together, but you're alone. So break down some of those communication barriers. Work. I think it was Monday they had the 10 of Cups, and then later in the week we had like the 2 of Cups and 9 of Cups energy. So you can do a bigger group sort of connection at the beginning of the week and then one-on-one towards the end of the week. And ultimately, the Eight of Wands is a good card. Things are going to continue moving. The pace may be a little bit faster than you want, but you're positioned well to kind of complete this. Just take a deep breath and a deep break for some of you too. We have the 10 of Wands right above it. So it feels like you're even skipping to the finish line. You're going to get more done this week than you thought. We'll get past the 9 of Wands, which is actually okay because that card is fatigue sometimes. So I love that he's reaching for something new. Really good leaders always have the next thing ready, the next big thing. So when I was younger, it like, instead of Taylor Swift, it was Madonna. She always released one project after another, but we can use Taylor as a recent example. Does she ever stop? I don't know. She's definitely doing this, wrapping up one thing, launching another one, thinking of the next one. She could take a break occasionally. But what I do like about that is constant manifestation. So you can be prolific this week if you want to. Take a break too. And less is more sometimes, but I like that there's always a plan for the next step. Just being one step in the future is more than enough and will put you way ahead of most. Because sometimes if you ask people what their plans are, it's sort of like, I don't know, have a good dinner or watch something on TV. Like there's no clarity for what the next week, month, or year is all about. So take a moment as you're in the throes of all of this and think, what's it all about? And what am I going to do when this is done? I had one of those moments when I graduated from graduate school, and I was in my the dean's office, and they just said, "You did a great job. So fun working with you. What are you going to do with your life now?" I had a momentary panic because I didn't have like the answer that I do now when I'm clear what's next. I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. So he picked up the phone and helped me get a job, which was great. That's very rare. That doesn't happen. But he's like, I know someone that's hiring. Why don't you try this and then come back when you want to talk? But I really feel like we need to have those goals. Sometimes we're so focused on just getting to the finish line. It's like, well, what's after the finish line? Take some time before you get to the finish line. And that's going to help you be more strategic, right? And it doesn't have to be change the world sort of stuff. You can be working on things like, well, I'd like to buy a home in 5 years. There's a goal. There's a long-term goal. I'd like to improve my general health and well-being beyond what it currently is. I'd like to learn more about yoga. It can be that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be sort of lofty, but it should, having some long-term goals and things will help you achieve multiple things at once. You'll start to think, oh my God, I'm actually manifesting a lot. This is how. It's by opening up the field of vision. There may be a trip on the horizon. Anything you set your mind to finishing this week, you can finish, and something bigger might be coming through as well. Like I said, I feel like not a lot of time between two things. Maybe you want more of a vacation, but I'm not seeing it, so plan it somewhere down the line as well, okay? And I am aware that some of you are in survival mode. The Ten of Wands has another meaning, and that is sharing the load. We don't see it in this one. I'll pull it up real quick and then we'll move on to the next one. But you don't have to do this all on your own. And if you are in that space of people aren't there to support you, it's also saying you don't have to take on any more than you're ready to take on. So if we look at the traditional Ten of Wands, you can actually see the hunched over back. It's still in this one, but we see the person looking at the next thing. And for those that sometimes are in survival mode, sometimes we're doing it for the betterment of like our children or a family member. Like I'm working hard, but it's to pave the way for them. So that can help. But for yourself, less is more. Like in Wands, you can always reduce. It's the only suit that really allows this, but you can always do less and there's better cards in the smaller ones. It's not about necessarily going to the 10 because Four of Wands is relationships, friendships, foundations. Three of Wands is about manifestation, new horizons, exploring new things. Two of Wands, imagining things. There's so many cool cards in the lower portion of this suit. Take a step back. You don't have to do it all if you don't want to, okay? All right, so we have two cards here. We have the Ace of Cups, and then we have a limiting card in the form of the Devil. Ace of Cups, love and abundance in the highest forms here, and something to celebrate. And I mentioned I love that we have the champagne bottle here. What are you doing to create some celebration in your life? When was the last time you just thought to yourself, you know, I've worked really hard, let's do something, this is the gratitude, this is also you, again, just spending time and energy with the people that you love. When it comes to relationships, I want you to take your time. There could be someone this week that isn't ready to give you what you need or what you want. And that's kind of what this is representing. There could be a string attached. They could still be in a relationship. You may want to start a family, they don't want to. You may want to get married, they just want to stay committed, but like not go through that. And it's about not forcing that connection. And, you know, in the Devil, like, let me actually just pull the comparison between the Devils and Lovers here. But it's basically about being and meeting that person in the moment, being there for them in the moment. Unconditional love. You deserve that. Don't limit yourself and accept something less than what you deserve. So here's the two together. This is what I'm talking about. Have you ever noticed, if you've watched my channel, you have, but if you're new to the live streams, it's the same energy. We have an angel and a fallen angel. We have lovers, but in here they're looking at each other and there's nothing connecting them. Here there is that chain. So what we want is to move from this to this. Unconditional. Don't force things. The Ten of Wands can be a pushy card. This can be friends, family, or even yourself trying to push something. If it's meant to be, it will be, and we really want to hold space for this love and this unconditional energy, okay? And yes, this is a collective reading for everyone. And so all the messages coming through for the collective, you can go to the sign-specific stuff if you want to later. It's in the beginning portion. And of course, check out your monthlies because that will give you the fine-tuning. The reason I do collectives, by the way, is because it's kind of like when you walk outside, we're under the same weather in a geographical sort of zone, but just imagine like planetary. We're all going through similar energy. So I'm looking at the weather for everyone, and then you can look at the forecast for your specific sign, which is like your city, by looking at the monthlies. That's how this works. Global and then city. All right, let's go ahead and expand this and look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with health, mind, body, and spirit. And in the energy of health here, we have drum, beating, or I should say marching to the beat of your own drum. And it does say dream and journey. Some of you are kind of like feeling it's almost like in music where there's an extra beat, out of sync, or you're feeling like you have to create your own rhythm, and that's okay. So feeling a need to kind of deviate from the pace, which we talked about here, maybe the pace is too fast, maybe there's too much pressure, maybe there's strings attached to something, and you're thinking to yourself, I don't want that. That's cool. Figure out what you do want. When we look at work in a few minutes in career, the entrepreneurial energy of the Queen of Pentacles and the dragon itself is definitely bringing you kind of like into that new sense of empowerment. But we want to overcome this. So again, I'll talk more about that in a moment. This could also represent, the one part of the body that has a drum is the eardrum, hearing. So if there's any issues going on with your hearing, obviously get that checked out. Sometimes it can be as easy as just having like wax buildup or whatever, going to an ENT can help you. But if there's something going on with hearing, check it out. Okay, let's look at all the cards here. I think the most important thing here is, as I was just drinking, like opening the throat chakra. King of Swords, back to what we were talking about at the beginning, using your voice. So if you're in a place right now where you're not allowed to speak up, where you feel like your words are constantly being sort of picked apart, be mindful of really putting some healing into that. And then when it comes to just being able to speak up and speak more passionately, practice makes perfect. Public speaking in particular. I have a different approach to readings now after doing it for like 10 years. It's a lot easier. When I first did like a YouTube video, you don't know how, what's going on. So as time progresses, your public speaking skills get better. Your voice, your projection, the way that you can get organized helps. So practice. This is true in speaking your mind in a relationship, speaking your mind at work, and just better elocution and verbal delivery. It will happen as you practice. And that's what I get with that. If you can't say something nice, wait until you have a way to be constructive. King or Queen of Swords in reverse can be a little bit too direct, and we want to be sensitive to how it's being received. I know it's beyond even like health, but that I have to bring those messages in as they come through. Yeah, I like the young version of myself too, younger, but it was just more quiet and more reserved. And now I'm just a different person where it's easier, and the flow of energy comes through. So anybody that's done anything for a while, like sports or writing or art, it just is different over time. So you have the capacity to improve. Give yourself that chance to improve. Three of Pentacles, interesting. It can be interactions, prescriptive interactions. Again, I just want to keep reminding you I'm not a doctor, but this can be something where there's something that you're doing that's counteracting your progress. So if you have prescriptions, like there could be something in your diet that's not agreeing, or you have 2 prescriptions and 2 different doctors that aren't talking. There's something that could be optimized with diet or medicine or health practices so that things aren't working against each other. Let's put it that way. And it can be as simple as if you're focusing on trying to be healthier, but still the sugar intake is really high. That's an example. They're not compatible. So you want to be smart about that. Queen of Pentacles is reminding you of the importance here of doing things that create grounding and stability in your life. This card, like I said, has to do with lower extremities, but it also has to do with confidence and emotions. And I do think a big part of this is finding your own strength, and that could happen with the help of counseling and things of that nature. The devil usually comes through when there's a habit, and it could be drinking too much, but it could also just be any extreme: overworking, over-exercising, over-drinking, over anything. So everything in moderation is really what that's about. And then if you are doing any heavy lifting or work that involves sort of like your back, you want to be careful. The 10 of Wands can show sometimes putting unnecessary stress, but it can be emotional stress too, taking on too much of an emotional burden. The rest of the cards are pretty good. Things take time. Healing takes time. Be patient with respect to that. Let's move on from health to wealth. And we have a card of rebirth here, the coffin. It reminds me a lot of what you would see like a sarcophagus in Egypt. The coffin in reverse. For some of you, you're having a hard time putting something to rest. There could have been, because we're looking at wealth and work, maybe you were given or forced to take an early retirement. Maybe you were made redundant or laid off. Maybe someone cut short your opportunity to do something, and it's hard to be at peace with that because you didn't get a say, or you didn't get the last word, or you wish you would have done something differently. There's not a lot sometimes that we can do about those abrupt endings, but there are so many beginnings this month too, that it's really encouraging you to see just kind of like what's on the horizon. Work with someone to process the emotions of the abruptness of that sort of cut or ending, but sometimes it's not within your control, as the devil likes to remind us. And sometimes it's for your better good, because something here wasn't good enough. The Five of Pentacles isn't enough. It's typically less than you deserve. So this is a card where one more would be balance. So if someone is taking you for granted or using your sort of generosity to their gain or benefit, this is encouraging you to move in a new direction. Okay? Let's break it down here and look at it from 3 different perspectives. We're going to look at those in a job, those that are job seeking, and then students or retirees. So if you are currently working, there could be this feeling that it's not going anywhere. The coffin can represent a dead end. And the reversal of this is just the awakening to the fact that you want to do something different. You may like the people, you may like the job, but there could be something that's dead end about it. There could be a lack of, they're not keeping up the pace with cost of living, or you're doing the job of 2 people and you're only getting paid for 1. Whatever it is, there's room for more. Hold space. You don't have to make the change right now. Just like if this were like the 2 of Pentacles, it might take a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. Whatever it is that you're manifesting though, it's going to be so much better. 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands. So sometimes just knowing that this isn't good enough, that's all you need, and then you can decide where to go and what to do. Moving may be necessary to make this happen. If you want to stay where you're at, it's really about standing up for yourself, but in the way of articulating value. That's a very corporate way of saying it. But that is what it is. If you're working in a job, you can say to your boss or manager, this year I helped us accomplish this goal, and actually above and beyond here. I did it last year. I did it the year before that. We've talked about time and again that I'm poised for this. It really feels like this is the year. If it's not now, when? And so you build a case, how much, and you can say, I love the team. I love what I'm doing. I over deliver. And it's always on time or sooner. I need to see the same sort of level of engagement. I know you can't always be this frank with a manager, but if you can, this is sort of how you want to frame it, and just say, what can we do to make this happen this year? Not can I get it? What can we do to make it happen? So you're going to use the Queen of Pentacles, and if they come back with devil energy, no, we don't have it in budget. No, it's just not happening. No, we're downsizing. Just say, thank you. I just wanted to put it on the table that I'm interested. And then go out there and find someone that can do it. The best way to sort of get even is to have success and find that connection, and then come back and be able to say, I found something better. So that can just be your clarity. But if you want to stay, it may not be feasible. It might be 1 or 2 years out, but put it into writing, put it into because it's harder to say no if they have some sort of written trail. A handshake is not enough. We need a contract, because you can use that same energy to hold them accountable. I see opportunities for travel. I see a lot of busy work going on. I think that you're going to excel right now with, again, manifesting, networking, delivering. Where I see things falling short for some of you is in the rewards or the recognition. So you get to decide how patient you are. It feels like it could come through, but you really got to be mindful with the devil card here that you get it all in writing. That's my advice in this moment in time for current jobs. Some of you are just ready to retire or ready to do something else anyway, and you may just be thinking another year or two. And I can see that in the spread here as well. Again, I'm just picking up on it this week too. So it may change next week, but this isn't the week necessarily to force it to happen. It's just a week to plant the seeds. Okay? For those that are job seeking, confidence, definitely I can see is taken a hit. I would love for you to reach beyond the current industry or the current geographical borders. The 10 of Wands is going beyond the boundary. And we can see them beyond that boundary of pain, because the rainbow can be rejection. It's on the other side. It's saying it's worth it. We do see some good news. There could be a string attached to some of that too. Make sure that you're not compromising and taking the first offer. Sometimes I know we don't have a choice, but definitely dig into the contract if something comes through this week. Again, we're just getting out of retrograde. Something may not be immediately clear in the contract. Have somebody look through it. It's worth the time, the energy, or the money to have someone give you some advice on that. Focus on networking this week. And that may not immediately pay off in like a job lead, but in the long run, something could happen here with that networking. I really think it's like 3 to 4 weeks from now. I'm looking at 3 of Wands, 4 of Wands. So not immediate. Don't let that get to you. Focus on the long-term goals and gains. And that's the core message here. Training. It's a great week to get some additional training or exposure to new things. And that's also where you can meet new people. Okay. For those that are retired, then I'll look at students. The main thing here is health, taking care of yourself. It feels like this is a time for healing, emotional healing, physical healing. Get that under control first. Some of you may just be feeling antsy to do something new. Plan a trip. Save money by planning ahead, a few months out. I also think that hobbies and new skills and new activities, going back and kind of returning to that is going to be very fruitful right now. Students, what's going on with you? Do you like, this is kind of like the theme to mahogany. Do you know where you're going to is one thing, but do you like the direction in which you're headed? I will ask this whenever I see like the devil energy. You're going to please others, but your success and your acceptance and people around you, their joy for you should never come at the sacrifice of your own happiness or fulfillment. So if it's not what you want, don't do it. I think the main thing here is burnout and just exhaustion and maybe just fear, because the devil can just be fear. We see you succeeding, so just take care of yourself, do something fun, and if you don't want to do something, say no. Most of this is just fatigue. Financial fatigue as well for some of you. When you're choosing, let's say you're at the beginning portion of choosing a school, really look at that financial portion. I'm at a point now, especially because I operate my own business and there's a lot of overhead, from bookkeeping to taxes to, even paying for certain things like the podcast. I had a producer and an editor and all of that. So I have a lot of outgoing costs. I still have a student loan and I could pay it off, but I need to save money so I can pay some of these other things. So had I known how many years I'd be paying that student loan, thankfully mine was nothing compared to current educational costs, because it's ballooned since the late 90s. So really make intelligent choices and think maybe there's a better way to do it. Working like at a community level for 2 years, community college, and then going to the university, transferring out, or maybe going for a smaller school with a better student to teacher ratio, better. It doesn't necessarily matter so much on where you go. It's like what level of one-on-one education you're getting from the teachers, and how long you're going to have that burden. And there may be internship opportunities, fellowship opportunities, scholarship opportunities. It's how to shoulder that investment in your future, but also making sure that you're going to be comfortable with it. Realistic. So I'm seeing that there too. Okay. That's it for that. Let's look at love and relationships. I'll go a little bit lighter into this because we had a lot. I mean, it was about abundance, so I wanted to focus a lot on that. So let's take a look and see what's going on here. Okay, so for love and relationships, here's what I see. We have raise your vibration. There may be someone in your life right now that just doesn't have what it takes to be your friend, to be present, and to kind of like, just sort of like listen to you. So this is basically saying if they don't have what it takes, or if they've deserted you, or if they're just kind of poking at you a little bit, you're not going to feed that flame. And sometimes they just cut you out, because we saw that here with the coffin. There could be someone that you'd invested a lot into, because that relationship energy sometimes can show up in wealth because it's energetic investment. Rather than focus on that person that's shuts you out, you're like, okay, that clearly isn't where I should be putting my time and energy. I really am ready for something better. And I'm so grateful that I'm no longer engaged with that. And I'm not going to even spend one more tear, one more breath, one more thought investing into that. So it's a nice segue into relationships. If someone is cruel or short or whatever, you could just say, I think we've said everything we need to. Let's come back when we're both ready to be mature or talk or whatever. Like, just take the high road. Don't meet fire with fire in this instance. Cool it off with some kindness and some water and move your energy somewhere else. That's 5 of Swords energy. That's 7 of Swords energy. And you have to just be the King of Swords reverse and cut it down and say, no. Okay. Also, by working on yourself, improving your health, meditating, getting into a more peaceful, happier, resplendent energy, you'll pull in the Lovers. So this is really helping you get into that energy. This is what you deserve. This may be what's on the periphery. So you're going to wait for this. You're raising the frequency and saying, I deserve all of this and then some. Okay? Let's look at relationships. We're going to break it down into 3 categories. Current relationships, those that are seeking relationships, and those that are single and happy. Okay. For those that are presently in a relationship, there might be some stuff coming from outside of your core relationship. It's from the past. I feel like it is childhood drama, trauma, and issues that might be presenting themselves. There could also be a health issue that's popping up. And this is irritating the current relationship, but it has less to do with the two of you than it has to do with that particular partner. So each of you can basically focus on healing and being the best version of yourself. That's what I would say. There could also be a secret from the past coming through. We have that devil peeking out. And there may be this desire to just put a nice bow on it. When the devil comes through, you have to talk about whatever that is. A secret from the past, a fear and anxiety, whatever it is. And try to be as loving and forgiving as possible. There could also be a third party that's trying to come in to the fold. And this is where you really want to have boundaries, limits, and expectations. By and large, most things are manageable. But the other thing, and we have a clear parallel because this is in near future and this is outcome. For some of you, it's just not telling the truth about money or having different opinions on money. And both of you are very passionate about that opinion. So it's really making sure that you get on the same page when it comes to finances. What I like about current relationships is it feels like there is a path to the future. You see, you're making plans for the future. There's a core friendship here that is showing up, and you've done the work. Communication has possibly just broken down. This is outspoken. This is sometimes even curt. It could be hurting one of your feelings, and this is a person that is very nurturing, but may not speak up as much. So holding space and just checking in and saying, what do you think about that? How was your day? Or how are you? We talked a little bit about this. How are you doing on that? I just wanted to check in. Hold space. Let them talk. Let them finish all their thoughts. And then then ask how you can be there. What can I do? How can I help? Rather than giving advice. Sometimes the partner doesn't want advice. They just want support. Gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What can I do? Or how can I help? Or, do you need anything from me, or just want my support? Because you've got my support. So that's a really mature and really nice way to be there. Okay. Looking at those that are seeking love this week, can you find it? Yes, but it feels like the time it feels rushed. The main thing I would say is don't rush it. There could be a Capricorn. We could just look at the devil and the Ace of Cups as Capricorn energy. And we have Earth here. So yes, you could be meeting a Capricorn. No strings attached there. The one thing that I would say with this, though, is one or both of you may be working on some confidence issues. So try not to overcompensate there. Take care of your health. But in the case that this isn't a Capricorn and it's just the devil, this is someone that may not be ready to give you the level of commitment that you want. Because of work, because of travel. We have a lot of travel cards. So be realistic with yourself and with that partner. There are multiple signs coming through. So we have an earth sign. We specifically have a Capricorn. Then we have water and air. And whenever this happens and I'm looking at seeking love, I'm like, that's just a lot. There might be unfinished business from the past. There may be a lack of clarity, or you're super open-minded. If you're super open-minded, you have a cornucopia of options there. But I think it would be good to be a little more discerning and clear. That's the last piece that I have for those that are single and looking. If you are not retired. If you are single and happy, maybe you are retired too. But if you're single and happy, I think it's the best week to be single and happy because, first of all, you're going to still be meeting new people. Four of Wands, good energy for friends. There's some great manifestation and completion energy coming through. There's a chance for you to overcome fears and maybe surprise yourself because the Ace of Cups is good news. So you're like, oh, that went better than I thought. I was just freaking myself out about something that didn't need to be worried about. So you can really overcome a hurdle this week because your energy's focused. And that's the thing to focus on, okay? Let's go ahead now and take a look at destiny. So we now have the horse here coming through. And a big focus on the third eye with this horse. So the question here is, are you getting that sense of liberation and freedom? I look at this almost like a stallion or a Mustang. There's no reins, that's basically free. So you're free to move. Where do you want to move? What do you want to do? What's the next step? And as I said earlier, it doesn't have to be something lofty or wordy. It can just be saying, I need some time off. I want to do this. Or it can be one of those longer term goals, but set a goal or two or three and start moving in that direction and really exercise your freedom and your leadership skills this week because we have the ability to create, the ability to articulate and reclaim power and energy. And as I said earlier, I think especially when it comes to someone that might be trying to steal the spotlight, you just come marching in and say, no, this is this is me, this is my moment, and really enjoy it and don't worry so much about that. Okay, let's look at a big idea. This is going to be a chance for us to focus on one general area for abundance. And now that I'm remembering here, you guys want all of the above. I asked earlier, I'm like, what is it that you're focusing on? And there is kind of a lead here, which was finances and work, but let's just see where the biggest energy around abundance might be in this moment in time. All right. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands, and this one's really interesting because we see lightning striking here. And for some of you, this is the light bulb moment, and it's just about making sure that you are putting the energy behind what it is that you really feel passionate and curious and motivated about. And so this is your moment, basically. But what happens sometimes with the Nine of Wands is fatigue. So I mentioned it earlier, now I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. Take a moment and really rest. I think some of you, there's just too much going on in your head right now. So this is why I wanted you to just have some free time, not overthink, and just sort of breathe for a moment. The Nine of Wands is a card of survival. And so I'll start off by saying, you're doing great. Anything that you want to finish, you can finish. But there's been a lot. This card has come up a lot in the monthlies. I'm about 75% done with all of the May readings, maybe a little bit more. And I think this has come up like 3 or 4 times towards the center. And I keep saying it, I'm like, to each sign, wow, you guys have been pushing through a lot. And sometimes you think to yourself, more? I feel like it's almost done, whatever the challenge is in front of you. And I don't want you to lose motivation or focus or get too frustrated, because that lightning, that light bulb, that energized moment is just about to happen. She's not focusing on it though. She's kind of like exhausted. So do something so that you can recharge and see what's coming through with respect to that. And I think that's going to be really important. You know, there's an interesting message here, and normally I would just kind of say, please stop. But like someone's trying to take a shortcut. What would the card be for the lottery? Yeah, we don't think like that. You're creating your own abundance. Lottery is gambling, and I don't. That's not the focus of tarot or what I do here. Here's why. There's a big chance that if you buy a ticket, it's a waste of money. The odds are not in your favor, to quote, the Hunger Games. You could take that dollar and put it in any other endeavor: exercise, better food, tools or resources for your career, and I can guarantee an a return on that investment. Anything you spend your time and energy on towards a future goal is better than a lottery ticket. And even just putting it into a high yield interest savings account is going to be better than that. So you don't need a card for that. That lotto ticket, that's just risk, and that's only if you have way too much money. And even then, it's like there's a better investment. So that's my take on the lotto. It's the chances and the energy around that, unless you have a dream or something about that, it's not worth it. So there you go. You're investing in yourself. And this card is about bringing it back to the focus here, turning your attention towards what matters and not focusing on the fatigue. All right, we have 2 parts left. Both are brief. I hope you stick around. We're going to do an extra card at the end. It can be any question that I haven't yet answered. So think of whatever that is as we meditate. And we're going to do a meditation with the dragon next. So please take a moment, if you will. Get comfortable. This usually takes like a minute to a minute and a half, so stick around. And just breathe. If this is your only break this week, then take it. And then we'll look at that one card at the end. So if you will, I'd like you just to close your eyes. Imagine that you are in a beautiful green field. You can see rolling hills in every direction. And in this moment in time, you have an opportunity to basically move towards something that you desire in your life. We saw that beautiful rainbow on another card. So why don't we do this? Imagine that you are sitting at the end of a rainbow. You are this dragon. You're sitting at the end of the rainbow, and you can see what you want on the other side. Because you're a dragon, you can fly. So I'm going to allow you to fly through that rainbow, all the different colors, allow them to go through the different chakra points and heal you. And as I play the singing bowl, just feel like your energetic load is lighter. There's less pain in your heart. There are less thoughts going through your head. And what you can see is what it is that you want, what it is that you want to focus on, and try to limit it to one thing that you're trying to bring into your life. The abundance or the form or whatever, that can be bigger. But one goal, focus on that one goal and getting closer to it. And just imagine, you can even, if you don't feel like flying, just slide down the rainbow towards that pot of gold, all right? Nice deep breath, and let's meditate. Take a moment, if you will. See yourself now at the other side of the rainbow, something beautiful right within your heart and mind's eye. Hold it up to your heart, breathe deeply, and feel that energy of passion and fire that all dragons have, and allow yourself to just be in that sense of capability, clarity, and feeling like you've got this, because you do. I still see people talking about the lotto. You guys are funny. It's like a dessert. It's just something that you know, when you go into that energy, that is something where you have to be at peace with not getting anything in return. So let's focus. Let's really pull it back, folks, into now something that you care about, something that you need clarity on, and let's see what's coming through with respect to that. All right, Three of Cups, celebration, passion, new relationships, new opportunities, and kind of spending some time with like-minded individuals. So this is a yes. Three of Cups is saying yes. It's encouraging you to network and finding, again, partnerships in activities and common goals and common interest groups, because it's so much easier to get along with people that share the same passions and interests as you, because you have more to do together. It's also saying take it slowly. This is the waiting game. The Three of Cups is a courtship card. Not as direct a courtship as the Two of Cups. It's the beginning. It's not even courtship. It's dating. It's sampling. So this is basically hors d'oeuvres. It's not like even a buffet or the main meal. You're just saying, do I like this? How about this? Give yourself time to sample opportunities. It doesn't have to be love. It can be things that bring you joy or passion. Get out there and sample. And then mix and mingle. Strike up a new conversation, especially for those that are job seeking. You may be surprised at who knows who or what could happen. So the small connections lead to bigger ones, and that's what this card is really showing us. Okay? Maybe some of you are going to a sample sale too. I just got that. But yeah, it's about looking at those little small things and little small opportunities out there. That, my friends, brings us to the final portion of today. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. 100% free. It helps the channel, helps me see where we're doing great here, and I appreciate it. You can also join me on social media. It's always my full name on all major platforms. And remember, I don't offer any private readings. The best way to give back is to become a member here, to give back with a super sticker or super chat. We'll be talking about that in a second. I also have Patreon and PayPal if you go to my website for those that prefer different opportunities, but you get the most perks here with memberships, and I can announce in real time all of it. So with that in mind, I'd like to say thanks. Thanks to everyone just for participating, just for showing, whether you're watching it on the live stream or the replay. Wouldn't be here without this sort of this interaction with all of you. So thank you. I'm going to take a couple moments to specifically just give some gratitude to everyone that's present. So to all that did give back with memberships, thank you again, because these memberships help me with the podcast, and I'm currently getting ready to. It's going to take a month or two because of all the stuff that I'm doing, but I'm currently getting that queued up. So thank you for giving me what I need to continue passion projects like that. Because I like to do things on the channel that aren't just about, you know, trying to cover the bills. It's more like, no, I'm just giving back. I'm having an important conversation. So thanks, guys. All right, I'm going to begin with just all the members and then those who gifted memberships. And next week, I'll gift some as well. I like to do twice a month. All right. Either welcome or welcome back to everybody that I'm just about to say here. Jeremy, Heather, Michelle, Nicole, Erica, I Am Divine, Astro Tarot, Headwaters of, I think it's Existence. I can't see the whole name here. Taya, Aqualian Soul, Moon River, Calculated Healing, Paradoxal Debacle, Costa del Sol, Triona Walsh, and Donna. Thank you guys so much. Let me take a moment here to say thanks to those who gave back. Let's see if I can get that set up here. Fan funding, here we go. All right, so Raven, thank you for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. Lovey, thank you for gifting 5. You guys are amazing. Aqualian Soul, thank you for gifting 1. Also, thank you for your being part of this community, Aqualian, for 7 months. That's amazing. Colette, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Cece, thank you for gifting 1. Sunshine, Sarah Sunshine, thank you for 1 year actually being a member. I appreciate that. Cece, thank you for gifting another membership. You rock. And I think that's everyone there. Let's take a moment now for all of the super stickers. And if I missed anyone, I will see it all when I go into the replay and create the time codes. I'm doing everything today because I think Dakota's out. All right, so here we go. To those that gave back with super stickers, Lydia, Deborah, KB, Raven, Sammy, Carmen, Charlotte, ZM, Cece, thanks for giving both stickers and also memberships. I appreciate it. Jeannie, Nicole, and Sylvie. You guys are awesome, if I haven't said that. I see Helena and Donna, also a couple of latecomers there with fan funding and with super stickers. I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, apologies. It's a lot to kind of juggle at once, and I do my best to see it all. A reminder for my production schedule, I typically put out new videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. These are uploads, usually towards the very end, so it may actually fall into the next day depending on your time code. I do 1 card readings every day, and I'm here every Sunday. So if you enjoy this, subscribe and let me know. And I'm going to see if I can pull Apollo in for the very last piece, and then we'll wrap up. All right? Let's see if I can get this little guy to come in. Sorry. You guys ask about Apollo a lot. He likes to chill out in the other room while I'm working. He's like, "Are we ready for our walk finally, Dad?" So here's some love from Mr. Apollo. Wishing you guys a fantastic week ahead. Thank you for your time and energy. And from my heart to yours, have a great one, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.